Hello, hey, welcome everybody. Great to have you joining us today. This is Jim Tanner. It is Wednesday, July 12th. This is our Agents of Change Circle Up. I'm excited to have you here with us, whether that's live. Some of you are here with us live, and for those of you that are joining us, catching the replay later. By the way, this Wednesday event, I don't know if this is interesting to anybody, is the most watched thing that we put on YouTube. So folks are not only watching this because we know that some people just, this isn't the right time for you during the day, and we're going to be moving this event to the evening in the fall. But we're watching more and more and more of these views creep up on the replay. So folks are definitely finding the replays and getting that information. And as leaders, you're sharing it with your team. So congratulations for doing that as well. We got some training for everybody today. We're going to do this event in about 30 minutes or less, but I just wanted to start by talking about our Monday evening business overview that we just had as we moved into this new, exciting era of partnering up on the presentations. We've been talking about that we were going to do this, giving people a chance to participate as speakers. First of all, testimonials, hosting, helping out with the presentation. And John Fehrenbach, I think you did a home run job on Monday night, covering our company, our founder story, and the membership. And as I'd warned several of you before we got started and hit record, I was going to be just pointing to folks and asking for some help. So John, any thoughts you'd like to have, having finally done that for the first time in front of everybody? Maybe things you enjoyed about it, or things that came to mind as you were doing it, and any insight for those that want to be next. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Well, thank you, Jim, for the compliments. First off, secondly, it's a little overwhelming, and I had practiced and then ended up messing up with the PowerPoint a little bit. Technology gets in the way sometimes, but overall, I enjoyed myself. I felt myself once I got into it, I felt like I was definitely got more and more comfortable with the presentation. And I was really excited, truly excited that, I can be a part of, everybody's team and helping you guys, bring people on or sell products, whatever it is. So it was a lot of fun for me. I certainly know that I could have used more practice, which was on me at the end of the day. But I thank you for allowing me to be the first guy in the batter's box, and I took a swing, and hopefully I'll get another opportunity.
Absolutely. Thanks very much. And it was a great job. And that leads me to talk about next week real quick as we kick off here today. Next week, we've got a regular schedule. So on Monday, we're going to have our mastermind at 11:15 a.m. Eastern. And then Monday evening, the business overview. Again, this great opportunity for you to bring all your guests and get that information to them, and also for you to learn the presentation yourself and learn it at a deeper level by hearing it in this spaced repetition pattern on a weekly basis. And as we continue to cycle in new presenters, you're going to hear different language and different twists on the same concepts, which is exactly what I've been learning over the years, listening to people do this presentation over and over and over again in all these different environments. So it's definitely a win-win situation there. And then next Wednesday, so 1 week from today, we will have this circle up again at the exact same time, 11:15 a.m. Eastern on Wednesday, but I'll be zooming in live from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. So we'll have folks handling the controls on this end, just in case the internet's iffy on my end. But I'm excited to share that with you, which I'll be posting in the Facebook group as well. We're going to have a business meeting there as part of the agenda, and any announcements that come out of that meeting, I'll be sharing with the group as well in real time. As soon as I hear it, you'll hear it as well. So make sure you're plugged into the Agents of Change Facebook group. And if you don't know where the link is for that, or you say, geez, I don't know, or maybe you're not on our email list, you say, how do I subscribe to the email list? Or maybe you want access to replays of events like this one. You say, Jim, where are the replays? Everything you need is on the Agents of Change team website at agentsofchange.team. And I see Sonora Danzler jumped in and put that in the chat for us. So that's a great place for you to bookmark and save. Join our email list. That's a brand new list. Get on the email list so you can get our weekly updates and also access all of the replays, and every resource we have available is easily accessible from there as well. So I'm going to share my screen because I want to share some information with you today. I've got a training that I'm going to be doing. Let me just pull this up. And I'm really excited about this. Now, one thing about me is that I'm not going to train you on some kind of complex, new, wild thing. Everybody seeing my my screen there? I think you are, right? Yes. Okay, great. So I don't have some wild, new, complex idea on how to build this business, because if that's what it took to build this business, you wouldn't be hearing from me today. I wouldn't be a Millionaire Club member. I wouldn't be a multiple six-figure ring earner, because if this was complicated, it would have run me off right away. Now, the simplicity of our business, which is really what I want to share with you today, the simplicity of our business also, quite frankly, tortures a lot of people. If I can be honest, and I hope you enjoy honesty, it tortures people because people love complexity. Because without the complexity, when something is simple, which by the way is not the same thing as easy, when something is simple, there's no place to hide. And so it exposes what we do or don't do as business owners in this business. It shines a light on our activity or our lack of activity. It exposes, quite frankly, our daily commitment to the disciplines that build the business, or to not do those things. So I'm going to share with you today, and again, in a way that I think is worth talking about, what it is that we do and what is our part that we play in this. And by the way, as I'm going to share with you today, what you are building within your Legal Shield business, what I'm going to go over is exactly the same. So some of you, you're focused right now on marketing individual memberships. You want to sell $29.95 Legal Shield family plans plus ID Shield to people in your community. You want to sit down over a cup of coffee with them, or send them a video and sign them up. This training is for you. Some of you want to go to business owners and you want to sign them up for the small business plan, maybe even protect their employees by bringing Legal Shield and ID Shield in as a voluntary benefit for their company and their employees. This training is for you. Some of you want to build a team coast to coast, border to border in 2 countries. You want to create leverage, just like a broker in real estate or insurance has. You can have that same position of leverage here. This training is for you. Some of you are just dead focused on the residual income component. Whichever way you're going to build the business, all that really matters to you is that you build a solid business so that the residuals keep coming in month after month, year after year, and decade after decade. This training is for you. So let's get into this, because I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but I'm going to give you dense information on what our simple system is, with my thoughts, having done this for nearly 20 years, on what we mess up and what we do right and how people win in this business. And you see it on your screen to start. Everything rises and falls on your list. The fact is, there's 300+ million people just in the United States, and they are unaware that Legal Shield exists. Like, they've never heard Legal Shield said out loud. They've never seen a Super Bowl ad or driven past a billboard, because that's not what we do. They don't know that Legal Shield exists. They are unaware. And the people on your list are those people. Now, the fact is, whether you write out a list or you don't write out a list, whether I write out my list or I don't write out my list, I still have a list. And that list of people is unaware. Now, in this business, the people that take action and get started, actually, what they do is they identify who the folks are on their list, names, phone numbers, email addresses, hopefully, and they actually put them down in one place. When I got started, it was in a 3-ring. Well, let me just say this. When I first got started, the Fast Start class had a manual, because you went in person, you got a book, and there was lines in the book to start making your list. That's my first list. Then I transitioned that list into a 3-ring binder. And that 3-ring binder took me through the first decade in this business, constantly adding people to the list as I met them or thought of them. You know, I would talk to somebody and they'd say, "Hey, have you heard from so-and-so?" And I say, "No, I haven't talked to him in years," but I put him on my list because I was trained to make my list and to keep growing my list. This is the first thing that people do or don't do in the business, because the first thing we train on, right? And I remember in my Fast Start class, my Fast Start trainer saying, make a list of everyone you know, not a list of people you think would be interested, and don't prejudge anybody. You don't know who's going to want a membership. You don't know, and I'm going to show you this here in a second, but you don't know who would seize on what we do. And by the way, you shouldn't decide for them. Now, there's people that come to me and they say, "Jim," and I've heard every version of this, by the way, in 20 years. "Jim, you know, I can't go to the people that I know." And if you're a leader and you're recruiting, you're going to hear this too. "I can't go to the people I know. You know, Jim, I have been in every home-based business for the last 12 years, and spinning my wheels and being frustrated and showing it to every family member. And if I show them Legal Shield, they're going to say, well, here he comes again with another thing. Now, I think that if we really sat down and thought about it, I could fix your thinking about that. And I could fix the thinking about just about anybody in the business about that. But let's say I don't want to have a debate about it. I don't want to win an argument about it. You still have the same job, whether that list that you make is people you know, people you went to school with, people you go to church with, people that you're related to, or not. You still have a job as a business owner here to make a list. So that means if you're not going to make a list of the easy people, the ones that are in your phone, the 10 people you were texting with yesterday, if they're not going to go on your list, by the way, shame on us if they don't, because those people are suffering in silence. Those people need and deserve to be made aware that Legal Shield exists, just like anybody else. But let's say that you absolutely refuse to do that. Then your job is still to make a list. Maybe you got to take out the white pages. You know, I mean, I don't think that's a thing anymore, but literally you could just start listing strangers out of the phone book. You could start listing business owners off of Google. You could start listing anything, but you don't get to build this business and skip making a list. You know why? Because that's what we do. We take the unaware and we make them aware. And let's talk about this, because as this comes together, I think this will make a lot more sense. But I want to spend time on this because, as I said during the Getting Started training on Monday night, every associate finds themselves at a crossroads. And at that crossroads is they can do this business however they feel like it, however they think, because it's your business. You paid your money, it's your business. So in one path is I'm going to do whatever I want and I'll just do whatever feels good and I'll never be uncomfortable. And then the other way is I'm going to do it the way that every other Millionaire Club member has done it, the way every one of those 30,000 people earning residual income have done it. I'm going to follow in the footsteps of the people who've been coming before me for 51 years. And yes, some of that's going to be uncomfortable. And some of it's going to be things I've never done before. And I don't know what to do or what to say. And I'm going to feel that way as an adult. And that doesn't feel good. That's the path. That's the crossroads we all find ourselves on. So let's talk about what comes next. Let me get in here. So we take people on our list and we go from them being unaware to exposing them so we can create awareness. Now, let me go back to the different ways you can build the business. So what is an exposure? Well, it could be as simple as sharing with someone a video about our Legal Shield and ID Shield memberships, because we've got a great video series and you can pick a video that you like and you can have somebody watch that video. Today, you can text it to them. They can watch it on their phone using the Prospect app. When I got started, to do that type of an exposure meant that I took a VHS tape with that presentation on it. It was called Balance of Power. It was all about our Legal Shield membership. And I would bring that to someone's home and I'd play it in their VCR. That's what we did. Now, I happen to work at a store where I delivered furniture and appliances, electronics. That's what I did for a living. So there was a big wall of TVs and VCRs. And if I'm being totally honest, there's been plenty of times that I would play that video right there when I was still in that showroom at the end of the day for somebody that I had asked to pop by so I could show it to them. So whatever that was, I got creative. You'll get creative, but you can literally just let somebody watch a video and they can learn about our incredible membership. And what have you done? Let's just, this is so fundamental that some of you are getting bored. Stick with me, because if you're going to build a big team and lead a big business, you're going to have to talk about the basics with your associates all the time. What you've done is you've taken somebody that was unaware and you've created awareness. You haven't made a sale. That's not what an exposure does. So the membership, the opportunity, right? We offer the opportunity to people so we can build a team and so that they can create leverage and new income streams in their family, so that we can work together cooperatively with other professionals and win together. So you can be marketing the membership, you can be marketing the membership and the opportunity. You can be marketing the small business plan to a business owner. You can be marketing the fact that they could have Legal and ID Shield for their employees as part of their benefits package at no cost to the company, voluntarily paid for by the employees that want it. Whatever it is you're doing, you're moving people from one list column to another column, from unaware to aware. Now, the reason I'm spending time on this is because what people do is if they do make a list, and they usually make a short list, if I'm being honest, but if they do make a list and they do have the courage, and I call it courage because it is courageous, to invite somebody to take a look, maybe to watch a video, and we send that person the video and they don't watch it, we feel like we failed, because we think that we've done the exposure. It's not true. We've invited someone to do the exposure, but they're still unaware. The person that doesn't watch the video or sit through you doing a presentation yourself, or however you get that exposure in front of them, the person that doesn't see the information is no more aware than they were in the first place. They're still in that same first stage of unaware. They're on your list. But when you get somebody to see the information, you've created awareness. Now, this is where I want you to understand you haven't yet made a sale. You've just created awareness. And I think that this is so important to understand, because what we think is going to happen, because we saw this and we said, I'm in, for me, it was like, take my money. Because as some of you have heard my story, when the guy that did the presentation for me for Legal Shield said the part about moving traffic violations, that's when I knew I was going to buy this. I didn't care about the wills, and I didn't think I was going to need the rest of the plan, but I knew that if I got tickets and I got points on my license, that I would get fired from that job delivering furniture, because you had to be able to drive the truck and you had to have a clean license. So when he said that, I knew that if I could afford this, I was going to get it, because I wanted to protect my license. In other words, part of my training today is you don't know why someone's going to sign up, but he created awareness for me. And I'll bet he did that multiple times that day. You think every place he went, he sold a membership that day? Of course not. But he created awareness for people by doing that presentation. And he did get a sale out of me. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves. But let's forget about Legal Shield for a second. Let's say that I have a business, a new coffee shop, a new pizza shop. I'm a mechanic. I still have the same thing I have to do as a business owner. I can't just put up a sign and say, well, people are just going to come beating down my door because they know that I've got pizza, because they know I've got coffee, because they know that I'll fix their car. No, you have to take your list, and that might be people you know. I don't know why you wouldn't start with people you know. If I was starting a pizza place tomorrow, the first thing I would do is tell everybody I know I'm starting a pizza place. And I would say, listen, come on in, have some pizza. You got to check out my pizza. I would create awareness. I would expose them to my pizza. If I had a coffee shop, I would have them tasting my coffee. I would expose them to my coffee. If I was fixing cars, I would bring them in and show them the garage so they could see my clean, orderly garage, that I had a trained staff around me. In other words, I would create awareness. That's what you would do in any business. And that's what we have here today. So we have this business where you have a list, and you get to decide who's on your list. And then if you take the action of core commitment number 3, which is 2 exposures a day, then that means that you're committing to exposures and you're creating awareness about the fact that Legal Shield and ID Shield exists. But you still have to do the next step, which is you have to ask for the sale. And that's what's really powerful about our business model. And again, if you are marketing memberships, you're marketing the employee benefits package, you're marketing the small business plan, you're marketing the opportunity, you still have to take someone from unaware to aware, and from awareness to action, because now they're educated and informed, not just aware. And sometimes the process of educating and informing that person involves you bringing in a third party. Like every day I talk to folks on the phone that somebody in my organization has exposed to the business and created awareness, that fact that Legal Shield, the services exist and the opportunity exists. And then they put me on the phone so that I can answer their questions, so that they can become educated and informed. And then I ask for the sale on behalf of that new associate, on behalf of that associate that's not comfortable yet asking for the sale. If you're doing business solutions, group selling, if you're bringing Legal Shield and ID Shield to businesses, when you do that decision maker meeting, you've now not just created awareness, but you've educated and informed the decision maker, and you can ask for the sale. And if you're new, this is what I love about our business. If you're new or unsure, you can have a field trainer with you. Like if I was your field trainer, then I would do that decision maker meeting. I would educate and inform that person, and I would ask for the sale. So it frees up our newest associates or our spare time super busy at work associates to still win in this business, because we'll do it as a partnership. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna just do one more slide here, and then I'm gonna ask Tammy Martin to talk about this process. So Tammy, I'm giving you a heads up that we'd love to hear your thoughts as you're moving people from unaware to aware to educated and informed. And then of course, the last step is signing them up. And you could call this monetizing the activities that you've already done. But I just think this is so important that you recognize where the money comes in. It doesn't come in just because you put someone on your list. And you don't get money just because you sent somebody a video to watch or you did a presentation for them. You've created awareness, but you haven't yet put yourself in a position to monetize, to earn income in your business. For that, you need the person to be aware and then also educated and informed. Their questions have to be answered. They have to see how they would use the membership. They have to see how they would fit into the opportunity, how it would fit into their lives. And then when you sign them up, now you can monetize. And I'll say one other thing about signing people up is that there's different ways people sign up for memberships, especially when we do it with friends and family or people we know. Sometimes, and I was guilty of this in the early days, like I signed somebody up and I just want to get out of there as fast as possible. I guess I thought they might change their mind. But that, if you take 10 minutes during that sign up process to show somebody how they can use their membership, like get the app downloaded onto their phone, make sure that they understand how to start their will questionnaire on the app. Talk to them about different ways they're going to use their membership. Call into the law firm while you're there with them and introduce them to someone at the intake team that answers the phone at the law firm. And all of those little things, what that does is that locks in your new customer for the long term so that they feel good about what they just signed up for. And if they feel good about what they just signed up for, they'll use it. And if they use it, they'll keep it. And they'll usually keep it for a very, very, very long time. As a matter of fact, my first customer is still in the books today. That's 19 years and counting that she's had this membership and she loves it. And I saw her last spring and she was telling me about all the ways that she saved money with her membership. And it's just that's very fulfilling that people love their membership. But also I was talking to a salesperson yesterday that's looking at our business who's been making other companies wealthy for a long time and has nothing really to show for it herself and is frustrated by that. We're here, when you sign someone up, you get a 1-year advance commission. So you monetize the activity that you did on the front end, but also you're building legacy income with residuals because that customer continues on the membership. And in month 13, you get a bonus, a retention bonus, plus you start getting your monthly residual income in month 13. So this is the process, a process anybody can do. And I just want to make sure that all of us understand how simple it is to execute, where our responsibilities are. And let's just go over that real quick. And then Tammy, I'm going to go to you. But what are we responsible for? Making a list or not? Listen, you have a sponsor, a coach, a mentor. Many of you have many of those people that want you to win, but they are not going to make a list for you. And while you might have questions and they'll answer your questions, you might have feelings of like, maybe you have anxiety about getting started. They'll address that anxiety with you and they'll help you to see how much they believe in you and that you could believe in yourself because of that, but they won't do the exposures for you. Our job is to take the unaware and create awareness. And that's when we have an entire team of people. Once you've done those first 2 steps, people all around you will step in and help with the education and answering questions and asking for the sale. They'll even help you sign people up and make sure they get signed up the right way so that you can monetize this activity into the future. And by the way, monetizing doesn't have to be a bad thing. You could just forget about all the stuff you hear in the news about that word being a negative word. That is monetizing your activity that you've already done. I used to get paid by the hour. I worked an hour, I got paid for the hour. That was it. That was when a company, 2 actually, were leveraging me. Now you get to leverage a system, just like I do, where you have a system in place, you have experts in place, you have coaches and mentors that want to see you win, all in place so that you can have a business that pays real cash flow, upfront advance commissions, and ongoing residual income. Now, Tammy, before I go to you, and I'm going to go to Sonora Danzler as well if she has a moment to talk about this system, I just want to share one slide that has nothing to do with this so that I can unshare my screen. And I just want to invite everybody to join us this Saturday for our virtual Super Saturday event. That's July 15th from noon to 2 Eastern. And you have to register, even though it's free and it's over Zoom, so you don't have to travel anywhere. You do have to register. Well, I'm going to go deeper into these concepts, and that's at 2023supersaturday.com. Someone will put that in the chat as well. But Tammy Martin, if you don't mind, I'd love to go to you. I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to stop talking because we'd love to hear from you as well. Take it away.
Well, good morning, everybody. If y'all are not on fire now, I don't know what to say because Jim, you're amazing. And thank you so much for your leadership and your guidance and helping us. But when we're talking about this system, it is so, so simple, like Jim was saying. Now, I don't have any notes because I didn't know I was going to talk, but that's okay because that's one thing, like what John was talking about the presentation he did. We're so real. I mean, we are real people living real life, doing a real business and trying to make a difference for other people. And so we don't really need a script, you just be you. So the first thing that I would say about this system is you have to be both feet in. Like you have to have a total belief in this product. If you have not used your membership, you've got to use it. You've got to call your law firm, whatever, because it's kind of like telling somebody how great a meal is at a restaurant and you really hadn't tried it. There's no way you can authentically tell somebody about that. But when you tried it and it's like the best steak ever, you're going to go tell everybody. You've got to go to this restaurant, right? So you've got to be both feet in and just embrace the system. I love this. I read this a few months ago, and it was talking about people that are in sales. Well, we all are in sales. Probably from the time you were a little kid. Have you ever tried to convince somebody to adopt your idea about something? Have you ever had an argument with somebody and you were trying to get them on your side? You are selling your mentality. You are selling your idea. So even as a child, we are selling. And so it doesn't matter when people tell you, oh, I'm not a salesman. Okay, they're lying. But no, don't tell them that. But I'm just saying, it is that we do that as people. And but I love the concept. I don't ever think of myself as a salesman, right? I think of myself as helping families because you don't know whose life you're going to change. You don't know what this plan can do to save somebody's home, their job, somebody being harassed, somebody's child. They even do adoption. My daughter has a heart for adoption. You don't know whose life you're really going to impact. And that gives me joy. When I work with my associates, it brings me joy. It gets me excited when I see the light bulb come off. Go on in their head. That's rewarding for me. And that's one thing in this community of people, like Jim was saying, you take the first 2 steps. We can't make the list. We can't do the exposures, but my gosh, when you're there and you're doing that, we are the biggest cheerleaders that you will ever have. We jump in there with you. It doesn't matter whose team you're on. It doesn't matter who your upline is. If you hear somebody say something, reach out to them, ask them, what's your thought process on this? How can this impact me? Because we are all in this together. We are a team, and we're here to help each other win, because we all want to be in Jamaica, right? So we got to win. We got to know that the performance club, that's the road we want to be on. And so and that is going to get us the 10 core commitments. If you don't know what that is, you can go to your back office, print those out. You got to live by that. That is like the 10 commandments of Legal Shield. You've got to, surround yourself with the positivity. You've got to watch what you're reading, know who you're being around, doing your 2 exposures a day. 2 exposures a day. That is what, 20 minutes? We all text, right? We all send a text during the day. Lord, I send 10 to my kids. So you have time to sit there and do your 2 exposures and then follow up. It is nerve-wracking, and I'm not excusing that when you're new and you're scared. But you know what? These people are not going to come at you with a machete. All right. The worst thing they're going to do is tell you no. Okay. If they say no, you just say, bless your heart, because I can promise you when they get in trouble or something happens in their life, the first thing they're going to think about is, I wonder if they're still doing that legal thing so I can get me an attorney real quick. That's going to be their first thought process. So I would just tell you to, get past the fear, because they're not going to hurt you. The worst thing they're going to do is say no. You say next. I mean, that's just what I've learned to do. They're people. Some people just don't get it at first, but sometimes they come back around. So it's all okay. And y'all, we have the simplest process in the world. And that's a gift because we don't have to make it hard. Plug into those live events. Jim is doing that Super Saturday, and I mean, it's a place where you can plug in your guests. Get your guest in there. Get your continual education. That's going to make you stronger, so that no matter if you're talking to a small business owner or you're talking to an individual, you have the knowledge, and this is going to come running out. Because when even years now, I've watched the presentations on Monday, no matter who's doing them, you learn because you think, oh, that's a great way to say that. And John did an amazing job Monday, and I love that we are here supporting each other and cheering each other on. So that's my take on the system, Jim. It's simple. Follow it. Just be courageous. Get in there, because you know what? This is your business. Okay. Nobody is going to hold you back, but there is gold at the end of the rainbow. But it's up to us to run and to get that. We have the support system. We have the system. We have everything in place. So it's just up to us. So thank you for letting me share, Jim.
Tammy, thank you very much. And, and just watching you build your business again, coast to coast, because you're just following the system. And when you had questions, you asked, and that's coachability. And she asked the question, she got the answers, and then she didn't go invent a different way, because sometimes she didn't like the answers, but she just did it anyway. So congratulations to you. Sonora Danzler, let's go to you for a moment as well. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the system, following the system, and anything else that's on your mind.
Absolutely. And thank you so much, Mr. Tanner, for allowing me to share. So, hey, everybody, and a great, marvelous morning as well to those that are listening to us on the replay. And something that I'm going to quote and say that was told to me, and I definitely live by it, is how you do anything is how you do everything. So what does that mean? It's exactly that. It's how you do anything. If you get up in the morning and you're all slumped down and you're already thinking that your day is going to be miserable, then guess what? It's going to be miserable. If you keep saying that I can't this and I want that and they're going to tell me no and everything else, well, guess what? They're going to tell you no, and you're not going to be able to do it. So you just heard from Tammy. You just heard from Mr. Tanner as well. And you've got to get in the right mindset, everybody. I mean, that's like one of the key things that you got to do. If you keep thinking negative, that's all you're going to get. If you keep saying negative, that's all you are going to get. Hey, give yourself the opportunity and the grace that you can do this business. You can do it anytime, spare time, part-time, full-time. You can do it at the beach. You can do it outside, washing your car, picking up kids. You can do it wherever and whenever. But guess what? It is so up to you. You have got to choose to do your business, get it done, schedule it out, be consistent, and you'll definitely be at the top. Thank you so much, Mr. Tanner, for allowing me to share, and we'll turn it back to you.
Sonora, thank you very much. So Holly Lavaro, I don't know if you're somewhere where you can talk, and I know that you love being put on the spot. Are you somewhere where you could chat with us for a second? Are you able to unmute? No, okay. So, well, I'm gonna just talk about Holly anyway. So Holly had a bunch of people on Monday. I know that some of those folks, we created awareness, right? We educated and informed them, and some of those folks are getting started in her team. So congratulations, Holly. Also, Holly never yeah buts anything. Like she lives in Massachusetts. People say, well, yeah, but you got to get a license. So she went and got a license. Said, yeah, but it's expensive. She made it happen. And she continues to build her business that way. So we'll hear from you another time when you're able to. But Holly, we see you out there. Keeping us all honest in this business. So keep up the great work. And John Fehrenbach, as we're running out of time here and coming to the end of our conversation for this Wednesday, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Again, not only, and don't talk yet, because I got to make sure everybody knows, not only is John Fehrenbach the #1 recruiter in the state of Ohio and consistently honored month after month for that, dominating in his local marketplace, but also is ranking as one of the top recruiters in the entire country consistently now, at least in his second year. I know that you came very, very close to the very, very top spot last year as well. So this is someone that knows how to follow the system and is executing on this, and quite frankly has wrung all of the emotion out of it, and is just doing this pragmatically and winning. So we'd love to hear your thoughts as well.
So just real quick, I guess at some point I had this epiphany that how simple this business is. And Jim just laid it out for us in 4 steps. Creating a list, exposing people to the products and the opportunity, having questions answered either by Jim or Jim Felectra, who's my sponsor, or even me on occasion. I can answer a few questions, and then asking them to sign up. And I know that we want to complicate things, and we want to say, well, there's got to be some magic. The magic is in the simplicity. And if you just keep that in your mind, that it's not as complicated as some people want to make it into. Sometimes we use that complication to say, I don't have time for that complication right now. The business is so simple that if you block out the time, whether that's an hour a day, an hour a week, 5 hours a week, whatever it is, if you block out that time and focus on your list, exposing your list, using your third-party tools, whether that's Prospect by PPLSI or reaching out to one of the leaders in the group and allowing us to help you close the deal, if you want to call it a close, or to ask for the sale, or to give them an opportunity to sign up. It's really that simple. Stop complicating it. It's terribly simple. It is terribly simple. Jim, thank you.
John, thank you. And thanks for everybody for joining us today. Listen, this has been a phenomenal Circle Up. I'm excited for this Saturday. I'm just going to put this up on the screen one more time. Let me share my screen while I talk, while we all say goodbye to each other. But this is this Saturday. It's absolutely free. You do have to register. And that's because Super Saturday events have to be reported back to the home office. So I have to have accurate numbers of who was there. And please join us for 2 hours. For the first 40 minutes, we're going to do a business overview. And in that business overview, that's an opportunity for you to bring guests, and they can see what same thing we do on Monday nights. They're going to see the company, they're going to see the membership, they're going to see the opportunity and the compensation plan. They're going to hear testimonials. And that's a great opportunity for people to get fully educated and, quite frankly, get their questions answered so that they can get signed up. And then we're going to move from that right into the Super Saturday training event, where I'm going to go deeper into these 4 things that we talked about today. I'm going to talk more about how to create your list creatively. The fact is, as entrepreneurs, that's exactly where that entrepreneurship shines, is when we get real creative about how we build lists and how we keep the list growing. And I'm going to talk more about the different ways you can expose people so they can be educated and informed, about how to use third-party experts and all of the tools and events that are available to be that third-party closing situation for you. And then, of course, how to get people started the right way. So it's a Builders Boot Camp Super Saturday. We are going to be shining the light on this opportunity so that real people that want a real opportunity and a real company that offers a real solution in the marketplace can be involved with us and help us see through the mission that started with our founder, Harlan Stonecipher. A mission that we shouldn't forget about as we talk about how we're going to make money and how we're going to succeed in this business for ourselves. The mission is still crystal clear. Equal access to equal justice for every North American family. Nobody wondering what to do or who to call. Nobody wondering if somebody will save the day. Always knowing that just by tapping a few buttons on their own mobile phone, that they can have advocacy and a voice and power. They can stand a little bit taller and know that everything's going to be okay, because their attorneys and their fraud investigation specialists are there to take care of their needs anytime they need them. Thanks so much for everything you do. The work you do is important, noble work, and quite frankly, we couldn't do it without you. Have a great day, everybody, and we'll see you Saturday for the Super Saturday event.